We are live at 5, and we are going to talk about, once again, Isak. It's almost the daily Isak at this point. In the last, 48, 36 hours, 52 hours, the last couple of days is daily updates on what has become one of the funniest transfer sagas this window. We've had Mbermo, which was boring. The Gyökeres stuff was insane, but the Isak stuff, proper old school Love Island type stuff. It's assessing options. I don't want to be with you anymore. I want to couple up with another people. But I am Dylan. I am your host. I am joined by Qualms and Kenya. We're going to be getting into all of the next details in the next couple hours. But yeah, we're going to start with the Isak stuff. So the latest is he still wants to leave. And Newcastle still can't attract anyone. And Newcastle can't. Apparently, the decision, Newcastle is still saying that they want to keep him and that the final decision is going to be made by I can't remember the name of the guy, but the PIF guy. Apparently, he's not made his decision yet, and he's still sat there thinking, what should we do with Isak? And why has he not made a decision yet? Like, the guy's gone, I want to leave. Let me go, let me go, let me go. And he sat there going, maybe. Do you think that the longer they wait, it might worsen their position? Because he can't stay, surely.
Yeah, but...
sorry.
No, go on, Kens.
No, I was just going to say, what are they going to do? What are they actually going to do? Because I look at it do you know what? Yeah, I said at the time, I was saying to AGT, because AGT was there trying to do the nice guy gimmick. I was like, brother, Liverpool have just given Newcastle an ultimatum. They said, give us your babe, or we're going to take the one you want. They went and took the one you want, and now they said, say no more, your babe fancies me. I've come back, I'm spinning the block. What else is there for Liverpool? I just think the only way Newcastle can win in this situation is to try and sell this guy for a British record fee. There's the reality is you've got a player that's saying, yo, actually, I do want to go. I'm actually interested in that. I've given Newcastle my all. Maybe I'm ready for the next step. I just think the way Newcastle are operating right now in the market, they've missed every single target. It's actually really sad. I've actually never seen a window
sad, it's quite funny.
I've never seen a window.
I personally think it's very funny
for a club in such a long time where they've missed Cunha, Mbeumo. They were able to get Elangren and Ekatike. Who else am I missing? João Pedro, James Trafford. It's actually insane. I'm watching this this is crazy. That is insane.
Qualms, can I get your take, please?
Yeah. I mean, it's just following on. It's embarrassing. No, it's
embarrassing.
Newcastle are fishing in a new pond, and I feel like they're just figuring out now that obviously, although they've got Champions League football coming their way, they then have to deal with the big dogs. And I think Laurie he reached out, or he said yesterday about flexing their muscles. Actually seeing if they're actually about it, or Arsenal to do the same. But Newcastle can't really match Liverpool in that case. When you look at the amount of money they've been able to spend, the amount of money that they're accumulating from their deals, the sponsorship deals with Adidas that they've more or less got again. They've extended Anfield, the hospitality, everything. They haven't spent, I think I read something about, they've spent 1 billion less than Chelsea over the last few years. So they've got so much money to spend, and I feel like they're obviously abusing their power a little bit. But then you look at Newcastle and what they've done, and although they've managed to, they gave Isak a chance. Don't get me wrong, they gave him a chance, they gave him a platform, and he delivered. But I think Isak kind of looked at it with his high ambitions, and he said, you know what, I'm looking around, and you lot are just bringing in Elanga. I mean, you've missed out on João Pedro, as Kenya said. You've missed out on so many players. No one actually wants to go to Newcastle compared to the other big clubs. And I'm not saying Newcastle's not a big club. I'm just saying there's levels to it. So, yeah, it's unfortunate for them. Unfortunate.
I've got a question. I was going to say a quick question. You talk about saying no one wants to go to Newcastle. Do you think part of that is genuine location?
I don't think it's to do with the location. I just think it's to do with the club and its ambitions. And you look at you look at their wage structure, the amount that Isak is one of the highest paid there, about 120, 130. I said it yesterday. But then when you go and you look at Liverpool, you look at Man City, the amount of wages that they're on is considerably a lot higher. Now, I'm not saying Isak's after the money, but he's also looking at how the club are moving. what I said, Newcastle moved too slow in the transfer market, not just by buying their players, but they should have kind of said to Bruno Guimaraes and said, you know what, we want to tie you down. We want to extend your contract. Here's an extension. Isak, the same for him. Just so he knows, okay, yeah, the club are looking to move forward. And because nothing was done, I think he kind of looked at the other teams. He looked at Arsenal getting, obviously, his fellow countryman, Gyökeres, in. Then he's looking at Ekitike going, and he's thinking, but hold on, I'm one of the hottest prospects here. It's either someone snaps me up or I need a pay rise in that sense. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with Newcastle. Been out there, it's lovely. Great place, great lads, great women. Yep, fantastic.
I've
place.
heard. I've never been myself. But I'm keen.
Cheeky night out, that's great.
I do. You know what? I'll start up front for Newcastle for a weekend if I can go on a night out there.
Yes.
I'll take the spot. I'll take the spot. Yes, please remember, smash that like button. If you want us to read out your comments, get those super chats in, get your thoughts in. Liverpool fans,
get them in.
Newcastle fans, Arsenal fans, all you fans, get that all in.
Yeah.
Get those likes up and get us talking. But so we've spent about 3 days, at least I have, trashing Newcastle, right? I've spent the last 72 hours trashing Newcastle. We've missed out on everyone, but almost as soon as the Isak stuff came out, they launched talks for Benjamin Sesko, who I think the three of us know very well. United have been closely linked to this guy. We've been closely linked to him for years because we wanted him when he was at Salzburg, pre-Salzburg, even last season at Leipzig. You guys tried for him last summer. You guys were in big and deep talks for him this summer, but obviously you've not got him in the end. Is that the right way for Newcastle to go? Go from Isak to getting someone younger like Sesko and almost restarting their striker project?
You see, like,
or
what I would
is
say,
Vissa the better example?
Why not? They can get both. They can get both because this is the first summer where Newcastle don't have like PSR issues or anything like that on their back, so they can they can flex their muscle. But I do think, and as well, they've lost Callum Wilson. So they actually do need two strikers. I feel like it's always good to have depth in that area, especially considering all the competitions Newcastle are in. But I think you can look at it both ways because from an Arsenal point of view, we obviously, like, a lot of fans were very torn about Benjamin Sesko because he's a highly coveted player, but there's not a lot to see numbers wise, or when you watch him, you're kind of like, I'm not sure. Like, I can see this guy's got potential, but is that potential coming in this season, or is it going to be 3 seasons down the line? And I think Newcastle might also think like, right, we're in the starting area of our project. Eddie Howe's won us a trophy. We want to keep building on from that. We want to be in the Champions League. Is it worth like taking a gamble on someone that we don't really know much about? We know that I think his highest scoring season might be 13 goals in a league, or I don't know. Like, I guess as well, you could say that they did the same with Isak. Isak was another player that at the time at Real Sociedad, he'd only scored about 5 goals in the league. He had a lot of injury issues. A lot of people were like, oh, okay, he looks really good, but the numbers aren't there, but he's come to Newcastle and bang. So I would say as well, he suits their style of play. He's a player that if you cross into him a lot, his aerial like power is just great.
Oh, it's almost one of a kind, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he is one for the future. But I think if they were to get him and Wissa, that would be good, rather than one of the two, to be honest. I think he needs someone they need someone that has a bit more experience. And I think Johan Wissa's obviously shown that as well. So if I was Newcastle, try and get them both. Why not? They've got the money.
Yeah, and they probably have money to spare as well. If they sell Isak for 120, because what was it? Was that Al Hilal bid?
Well, I saw today that Craig Hope said that Newcastle want around up to 150, which obviously would be a British record feat. If you get that, they can strengthen it.
They can rebuild
that money.
Yeah, they can rebuild
5 areas. Because Laurie was talking about when we were on this yesterday. He mentioned that. Well, he made a good point. I'm gonna, big breaking news. Laurie actually made a decent point for once. He said that there's an issue. There's the potential for, if Isak goes, that other players are going to look and go, "Oh, maybe I should be securing moves away too." But if if Newcastle get their 130, 140, 150 million, and they were to bring in Sesko, Wissa, they'd probably have at least 40 or so million to play around with there, bring in another 2 signings. Suddenly, you've sold 1, bought 4. I think that will go a long way to convincing some of their other key players to stay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Bruno G or you're Anthony Gordon, or Tonali, who are fantastic players, you're thinking like, right, I've joined this incredible project because I want to go on to be in a Champions League each season, want to try and win things. I think at the end of last season, we were saying, right, if Newcastle go in this window and they get Ekatike and they get Elanga and they get this person, that person, they could be on a title charge. And it's very quickly fallen away. So those players might have those thoughts in the back of their mind, like, is it worth sticking around if we're losing our best players? Look, me and Quams are Arsenal fans. We can tell you what it's like when you lose your best player. A lot of other players are then like, well, what's the point? We've had that with, Robin
Cesc Fabregas, Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry. Do you know what I mean? Even Alexis Sanchez. These are all of our best players. And then we ended up losing them. And other people were kind of like, ugh, is it worth sticking around for this? Do you know what I mean? And it throws the whole camp into a bit of disarray as well. Do you know what I mean? So
some of the comments make a good point, actually, just quickly about the fact that Newcastle don't have a sporting director. And I think that potentially is causing issues, not in terms of not being able to find the right targets, but to have the right guy to go, we're the club for you, which is why they might have missed out on so many of their key players.
Well, you look at what Andrea Berta has done for us since he's come in. I mean, he's hit the ground running, and he's got to work straight away. And some of the names that he's secured for us, obviously with the help of others behind the background, it's no further than like such a great achievement. So you can see we've also had the taste of the other side when we had Edu. And some of the recruitment, we questioned it. The certain players, the Sterlings, etc.
Forest are going through that now.
Forest are now going through that now, you know what I mean? So hopefully they'll get through it. But I think we're living a day and age now where you do need a sporting director, a good one, because he's more or less the face of the club. He's the one that goes behind the scenes, does the small things that make a big difference. And you can see even with, I know it's kind of off topic with what we're doing with Mosquera, or all the players, how we welcome him into the club. It's very intimate, it's very personable, the family, and you can see Andrea Berta is always there as well. So I feel like that's something that Newcastle are lacking. But then also it's the caliber of players. And that's why Isak is looking around and he's like, look, I love Newcastle. I love the team. However, you man ain't going to bring me a title within the next 3 years. And in the next 3 years, I'm going to be touching 30. And am I going to be one of those has-been strikers, one of those could-have-been strikers where, you know what, I could have. If I went to Man United at the time, let's say I'm talking about Harry Kane, if I went to a bigger club and, and won with them, that was me putting my place in legacy. So I feel like that's why Isak is kind of pushing it, because he's like, this could be his opportunity to win something big.
Yeah. I feel like as well, like
pretty easily.
Yeah. I feel like as well, a lot of Newcastle fans, like, obviously this is like the worst thing that could happen. Like, they've just had an incredible season. I think they finished third, right? Or fourth. They finished third or fourth. They won a trophy. Like, it was almost like, oh my God, they're cementing themselves back into that top half of the table, saying we're here to stay. We've got these new owners. We're into this new flesh. And like, obviously all this bad stuff's happened. But this is the unfortunate reality of when big clubs come in. Like, this is no disrespect to them as a club. They're a fantastic club. They're a classy club. They've got great fans, a great stadium, a great story. But this is just what happens. And you have to be prepared. I think, to be honest, if you can get 150 mil for this guy, that is probably one of the best returns you're going to get.
Get as much as you can.
It's the best return any English team's ever got, ever.
Like, a lot of people are like, oh, why would this person, like, it's when Cunha went to United, for example, and people are like, well, why would he want to go to United? They finished 15th. It's Man United at the end of the day. Like, think about how bad they've been. They've been in 3 consecutive finals, back to back. Do you know what I mean? Even in their worst shape, like, even Liverpool, although they won the league last season, like, completely, absolutely ran away with it. Didn't even buy anybody. Bought one person, basically, and won it easily, walked it. Season before that, they were in a title race. They didn't win it, but they still won something. Do you know what I mean? So you can understand why. You can understand why Alexander Isak is like so turned to this opportunity. Like, you can't really turn it down.
I just think, you can't turn it down. And then they've more or less got to model what Liverpool have done in the past when it was Coutinho, and obviously he left for the amount of money. And instead of Liverpool kind of crying about it and saying, "Oh, woe is me," they said, "All right, cool, we're going to buy one of the best centre backs in the world, Van Dijk." Obviously, they didn't know at the time, and buy other high quality players that went on to then dominate. Exactly, Alisson, Robertson, etc. So I feel like this is Newcastle, a sleeping giant. They've always been a sleeping giant. But again, you're dealing with the top that have been dominating for years with the likes of City, Liverpool, whatever. So this is a reality of, although you're swimming with the big boys, you're gonna have to fall back a little while in order. You're not gonna get first pickings. And they've picked one of the biggest apples you could. if it goes through, if Liverpool go through with getting.
There's a couple Newcastle fans in the chat who are saying that they're not necessarily mad at Isak. They're also saying it's well done for getting Isak on the show. But
okay. Cheers, mate.
But aside from that, they've been saying they're not really mad at Isak. They're not mad at Isak. It's more those above Eddie Howe. Like, they like Eddie Howe. You can't blame Isak. People saying you can't really blame him, but you can blame the board for shit in the bed a bit.
You can, because as well, he's had these contract talks for how long now? We've been hearing about it all season, that he's been having these contract talks and they're not been going very positively. So when you've got, if he had signed that contract now, Newcastle will be in a stronger position to say, actually, you signed a new contract. We're shutting down any interest from the outside. If you want this guy, the price has gone even more up. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've not situated the player, and that's why he's been so easily rattled by this whole fiasco, really.
Yeah, but who wouldn't? I think Newcastle saw it coming. The Newcastle fans saw it coming. As much as they knew he was one of the best strikers in the Premier League last season, they knew shit. On the other side of that, big clubs are going to come knocking. And what have we got to entice them? I was looking at the squad, and obviously the forwards at Newcastle got Cordero, Anthony Gordon, Isak, obviously, Osula, Alanga, and Neve. You're looking at, and this is what I said yesterday, you're looking around your changing room and you're seeing man that are not on your level, but they're saying, hey, you can go and play with Salah. You can go and play with Wirtz. You can be an all-time goal scorer for Liverpool or in the Premier League. How and why wouldn't you turn that down? So it's a difficult one.
There's no reason not to go. And so when the reports coming out saying that their top dog is still considering what to do, it's like just accept that he's going.
He's already made it. He's already made his decision.
Play the most dirty transfer games you can do possible to make sure that you get the most heinous bag ever for a player in the Premier League. You may as well swing that way and just get as much as you can than posture and pretend that he might stay.
Exactly.
I feel like you don't want to keep him. Surely you don't want to keep him anyway.
Well, do you know what? I would say, his approach to it. What I would say is his camp's approach has been really weird. I think his camp missed the bullet. I think when Liverpool first came in, they should have just been open and honest then, because you obviously liked the fact that Liverpool came in for you. That's fine. There's nothing really wrong with that. He should have just said it then and there, because then at least Newcastle could have assessed their options and said, right, then Liverpool could maybe get Isak, we can then go and get Ekitike. Do you know what I mean? I think in a way he's probably looked at it and been like, right, I don't want to miss my chance if I'm gonna go to the next level and go to a club that's going to be trying to win the league and the Champions League every season. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just participating in it. So I think, I don't know, his approach, the camp's approach really, really baffles me. I think it's almost slightly a bit late. Not late, but
they haven't played it well.
Yeah, I feel well, the club might be even more upset now, because it's we had 130 mil come in for you, and you basically didn't say anything to us that you wanted to leave. We turned it down. We lost our second target, basically. Now you're saying you want to leave. So it's there was actually no winning for us in any of that. Do you know what I mean? It's just
it's just the story of their window. It's just the story of their window.
Yeah.
Just one L, either if it's their way or not, one L after another, after another, after another.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
We look at the James Trafford news today. I mean, David Ornstein, someone that they've been chasing all window. David Ornstein comes out and says, yeah, City's bought him back, and actually Newcastle had the chance to buy him pre-Club World Cup. Did I say it right? Club World Cup.
Club World Cup. Yeah.
First time spot on.
Could have bought him then when Man City weren't interested at all, but were basically messing around. And now they've missed out on someone that they've been chasing and talking about for a long time, knowing that actually they kind of need to upgrade on Nick Pope and Dubravka. And this is a young upcoming English goalkeeper who's
one of the best.
Rated.
Yeah.
He's one of the best, highly rated, could potentially be England's number one day. They've missed out on that because they sat around and they twiddled their thumbs like, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be so upset with the boards. Like, what are they doing?
But this is what I was saying, Kenya, because they're not used to being in this position. They don't know how to move. Liverpool know their experience. They've seen the downside of if they don't move in the transfer window quickly and get the signings that they want, they're either going to go to their rivals or they're not going to be interested at all. So it's like you have to move fast. And I guess that's why I was a bit disappointed with Arsenal at the start before the signings started coming through, because I was thinking, is it going to be a repeat of what's happened in history? But little did I know behind the scenes Andrea Berta was going to work. So yeah. We're doing a madness stuff this summer. We're outside this summer.
He's outside. He's got the checkbook out.
I think in the last 2 weeks as well, the transfer last 2 weeks, last 14 days, transfer windows properly
just blown up in it, Dylan.
Yeah,
it's blown up.
And I wanna talk about the number 14. Because I reckon Kenya might have
mention Rashford.
I'm not talking about Rashford. I reckon Kenya's got a little bit of an opinion on Gyökeres being handed the famous number 14 at Man United. No, I just want to know your thoughts. Sorry, Arsenal, not Man United. Arsenal.
Oh yeah, please don't lump us together. Anyways, do you know what, Dylan? Right, Dylan knows. So guys, me and Dylan will be in the office every Thursday. We'll be arguing about this number 14 shirt, and I'm like, this is sacred. There's a certain type of player that should wear the number 14 shirt. And I was like, Sesko and Gyökeres, I'm not so sure. But now, after everything Gyökeres has done to get here, I understand why the club has given him that shirt. In fact, he allegedly asked for the shirt and the club said yes. I think if a guy gives up £2 million worth of wages, he fights, he says to his agent, give up the money, I just want to go there.
Stops going training, all of that.
Doing training, he's pulling out every single stop to join your club. Then I can understand why he was given the shirt. I personally feel like, look, the shirt recently has been, when we gave it to Eddie, I have no ill thoughts about Eddie at all. I think he was an overhated player. I thought he was a good squad player. But I was like, number 14, really?
Too much for him.
Yeah, too much for him. Wasn't deserved. But I understand why they've given the number 14 to Victor Gyökeres, because he's shown so far, number one, this is a guy that's coming with a high record of goals. Two, the way he's fought to join the club is insane. The last player to ever do that for our club was Mikel Arteta, where he gave up wages to leave Everton, etc. So we just have to, the number 14 comes with a high amount of pressure, and he seems ready to take that on. I mean, he asked for the shirt. He knows what it means to wear it. So he's got to deliver facts, because that's one of the all-time great face of the Premier League, the Premier League's greatest ever player. I don't want to hear nothing else about anybody else.
Ever.
No, I'm not having that.
Dylan, we'll kick you out the stream.
Not having that.
Dylan, we'll kick you out of the stream yard, bro. Some of your
this is my last day.
No.
Anyway, I can say what I like.
Greatest ever players were
best player to not wear number 14, bro. Come on.
King Thierry Henry used to keep.
Did you see some of Jesse Lingard's goals, mate?
No. What?
How dare you?
I'll give
you the best number 14 in the Prem. I'll give you that one.
Some of the goals said they hated seeing long sleeves because it evoked fear into them because of
the gloves,
the long sleeves, the
socks over the knee.
The long socks. Nah, Dylan.
Oh man, what year are we in? This is 2002, right? This is the year we're in now, yeah.
That's how legendary that number is. That's how legendary that player is, mate.
All right, yeah. I'll stop. We are a serious transfer show here. I'll stop.
It is iconic, and I
need an explanation, because I've had a message saying that. Let me read the exact message. Arteta angers Valencia fans as one of today's topics, and I have no idea what that means. So I'm going to hand over to you two to tell me or Kenya, because I think Kenya knows what's gone on, to
Kenya
tell
probably
me
knows
what
more.
on earth that even means.
Okay.
What's that mean?
So basically, we signed Christian Mosquera of Valencia, who, to be honest, Valencia didn't really want to let go, and the fans didn't really want to let go because of how highly rated he is. To be honest, I've not really watched him, so I have to see what he's like. He comes, he does in his welcome video, he sat down with Andrea Berta, Mikel Arteta signing the paper. Cool. Mikel Arteta turns around to his brother, says, who also plays for Valencia, by the way. I think he's like an academy product. Turns around and says, I want you to sit down and let's take a picture together and pretend to sign because it's going to be you one day. Takes a nice picture. Valencia fans see that. They're like, nah, this guy, like, he's trying to steal our players.
Tapping into our players already.
One of our best players, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, he's got the Valencia fans vex, basically.
I respect that.
Like,
I respect that. I think that's very good.
Like, I mean, I don't think he was really thinking about it at the time, but it was just kind of a nice family feeling because obviously, like, Christian Mosquera's dad was there. In the video, he's there crying and stuff, and just very happy for his son. Very emotional because it is obviously a massive move for him, and he's still very young. He's like 22. So yeah, but Mikel Arteta's got another fan base on his back. Yay!
Yeah,
that happens when you're a manager for a big club, though, isn't it?
It's crazy though because when you look at what he's achieved at such a young age, in the sense he's made 90 appearances, he's more or less played the whole of the season. He's tipped to be one of the best centre backs again in the future. He can play. He's very versatile along that back four as well. He can play centre back and right back. I can and under 21 Spain international. So it's like we've more or less touted one of their best, and it's kind of left them a little bit wounded. So yeah, it's not nice for Arteta to do. I get what he's doing. He's just trying to be nice. He's just trying to be friendly. But yeah, Valencia are not going to be happy if we ever do get to face Valencia in the future. That's going to be a tasty game.
Yeah,
you better take cover on the manager's bench.
And as well, like Real Madrid really liked Christian Mosquera. They were just trying to wait out. They didn't really want to pay 18 million euros for him. They wanted to wait for his contract to expire. So it goes to show, as they do. So it goes to show that this is obviously a young, upcoming talent. I mean, we have to see what he's like, but the praise that he gets is really high. So I'm very excited as an Arsenal fan to see this type of player enter the club.
I'm sorry to cut you, Kenya, as well, just quickly, because I think you made a good point yesterday where you said Arteta's kind of filling in all the holes that we've had in the previous seasons, because we've had Saliba injured at a point or Gabriel injured or suspended. It's left a big hole, gaping hole. And then I think there was like a tweet that I saw on X earlier today where we looked at all of our defenders and I was thinking, this is solid. Not just our first set of defenders with Timber, obviously Miles Lewis-Skelly, but even Calafiori, Ben White, etc. So no, credit to Arteta, credit to Berta, because they've kind of listened and actually looked at the squad and said, you know what, if someone is out, who can we put in?
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it.
Very smart.
I think we need a bit of a soundboard on this show because I would love like a breaking news button. But I don't have one right now. Well, because I just want to say, big up the comments for pointing this out. But just a little bit of a curveball transfer news is Wrexham have made an approach to sign Eriksen.
Eriksen.
That is. I haven't watched Eriksen. Over the last couple of years, obviously he was a lot worse after his injury. He kind of dropped off a bit, but. Their story, obviously, I don't know if you guys have watched the Welcome to Wrexham stuff and everything, but obviously their story with all that, the Paul Mullins, all the stuff and everything is great. If they were to bag the Denmark national team captain for the championship season, I got to sit there and just applaud them. That's very ambitious, but I like it.
You know what? That's like having Lionel Messi come to Inter Miami. That's the equivalent of it. You know what I mean? It's that star. Lionel Messi.
I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
No, it's good. It's good for Wrexham. It's good for Wrexham. Obviously, they've come a long way, but it would bring a lot more fans. It would bring a lot more attraction to the club, a lot more sponsorship. And obviously, Eriksen's a fantastic player. He's been a fantastic player in the Premier League. And he's still probably got a few seasons in him. It's whether Eriksen will actually entertain this offer. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing.
Because I still think he's good enough to play in one of the Europe's top 5 leagues. I'm not saying play maybe a Champions League club, but I reckon there's a Como-esque signing in there for him. But if he decides that he wants to stay in England, because it might just be he might want to stay in England. So obviously, he was at Spurs, Brentford, United. He spent most of his 20s in England. If he wants to stay in England or be in Wales or obviously or live just across the border or something, might be the best decision for him. But I do think he could potentially. He is definitely still a top 5 league player. So if Wrexham can get that over the line, because obviously it's a free transfer as well, that would be crazy pull from them.
Do you know what? I have a question to ask you guys about Wrexham, because a lot of people are, some people say it's a beautiful story, some people say it's not. What do you guys think? Do you see it as this romantic story of this club that's been revived and they're climbing the leagues, or do you kind of see it as you've just had an injection of money, you've kind of bought everybody and just climbed your way up? Like, what do you think?
I don't see it as a beautiful story, but I see it as great entertainment. And ultimately, that's why we all watch football. We watch football to be entertained, right? You want to, so let's say I'm really excited for Cunha signing because he's so entertaining. You like seeing Gyökeres come to the league is so entertaining. Wirtz come to the league. It's entertaining because it's something new and it's interesting. Most people want to watch football for entertainment purposes. I think there's a very select few who watch it so they can sit there and take notes in the stadium and stuff like that. Like if you want to do that, you'll get into it. You'll be a coach. And I think the Wrexham stuff is very entertaining. I think there is a certain amount of there's too much romanticism around it because it's Disney. It's everyone likes the Deadpool movies. A lot of people like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like I love Always Sunny. Fantastic show. So I think there's a little bit too much, and their villain arc is pending. Their villain arc is very much pending, Wrexham's. But I'm all here for the entertainment of it, for sure.
Yeah. No, I do agree. I think if you spoke to some of the Wrexham fans, they maybe say that the publicity that the club has come under due to like Ryan Reynolds and that, doing the documentary on Netflix is maybe attracted a lot of, it might maybe have attracted a lot of things that they didn't want, or it's not what they want to be deemed by, they don't want to be connected to that. They've been around for a long time and a very prestigious club. So it's like, I think it's important. They want to stick to their core values. They want to stick to who they are. So as much as it's good, and as Dylan said, 100%, it is very entertaining. I watched it. It is actually quite a good story, to see. But I just think maybe the Wrexham locals might not like it too much. Some of them, the old school ones, the new ones, I think they'll feel it.
Yeah,
but I think it's also good for South. I do think it's good for South Wales. So as someone who's I've got Welsh on the map. Sorry, North Wales. South Wales already has. They've got Swansea. They've got Cardiff, right? North Wales now has Wrexham, and it's good. It's definitely at least that part of the country. So it's
are we giving them a bit of the benefit of that? I see this comment says if you hate City and Chelsea, you should hate Wrexham as well. Like, do you know what? I don't. I mean,
what do the people think?
It's a similar type of story,
as soon as we get beat 1-0 when they're in the Prem, I'll be their biggest hater. But right now,
they bought their way up. Oh, God, that's what you're going to do.
Why are they spending 400 million on Isak's son? But not like I understand that because it is just. But I think part of the issue with City and Chelsea is that it's where the money comes from, not necessarily just that the money exists, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
there is a certain amount of there. I think because like if you point to Abramovich, for example, you go. There's been issues there outside of football, same with City and City's owners. I think that adds an extra level compared to two guys who just got really rich by being really good at acting and then went, you know what, let's buy a football club. It's just it's an extreme version of when people go, oh, let's buy a pub. They've just gone, let's buy a football club.
Yeah.
But so it's a little different, I'd say, to the City and the Chelsea stuff, but I do understand the point. And there will be a time once they start buying 50, 60 million pound players in the Premier League where it'll definitely grate me.
Yeah, but I think it's good. It's good for the city. It's good, financially for the businesses, the local businesses. Is probably the footfall that they're getting must be fantastic, after what the money that has been injected into the club by them. So, if anything, it is a big positive. But hopefully they're just able to just stick to who they are. You know, they're as I said, their core values as a club.
Yeah, exactly. I think, do you know what? I'm not really one of those people that talks much about owners of football clubs. Like, I think football it's one of the most, if not the most profitable sport out there. It's the most watched sport in the world. It's the most loved sport in the world. You kind of understand, like right now we're having an Americanization of football clubs. Like, you know, Arsenal, we're owned by the Kroenkes, and they own loads of other stuff.
We've got the Glazers at 52%.
Yeah, you've got the Glazers. FSG are American as well. You look at even Todd Bowley. Even Birmingham City. You've got Tom Brady. You've got Snoop Dogg getting involved with Swansea. I think like it's kind of just the way that football's turning at the moment. Like I can kind of understand that you've got these big celebs with a lot of money that says, you know what, why not inject my cash in this really profitable model? Like, I'm not really going to hate on it. Like, I think the only times you can really hate is when you have teams like City who obviously are accused of all those charges and you say, actually, your ownership's doing a bit of a dodgy something.
That's
here.
the thing, to be fair, that's a good point as well. Chelsea and City have bent or broken the rules.
Yeah, like, man,
as far as I'm aware, haven't.
Like that, yeah. Even like, you go to a certain level, you have like Spurs where they had, is it Paratici who was banned and stuff like that? Like, we all kind of, you know, even before we were bought by the Kroenkes, who was Ismanov? He was a bit dodgy as well.
Yeah,
like, I mean? So
dodgy business deals.
It's just kind of the way. Like, I don't really buy into the whole. I'm gonna hate Wrexham because Ryan Reynolds is that Ryan Reynolds or whatever, which one it is. God knows whoever it is. They're there they're acting and stuff, and they're bringing life to the club. Like, I think, look, the fans are happy. They're climbing the ranks. They could potentially be in the Prem this time around next season, hopefully, and that would be fantastic for the club and for their fans. So I'm not really gonna hate on it much.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like you're allowed to. You don't have to be consistent in who you like and don't like anyway. It's all just that personal emotion, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like you can. I can be incredibly as selective as I want in who I like and dislike, and I do think, and so can everyone else.
I do think as well, you can be in the Premier League anyways. You could be a very rich owned club in the Prem and still not necessarily be massively successful or be where you want to be. Like, there's a lot of clubs that are owned like that have good owners or owners that own multiple clubs but are very like stingy with money.
On Villa's owners. Stacked.
Villa's like Arsenal owners. I think if you take out the state-owned clubs, we actually have the richest owners in the Premier League if you take out the state-owned clubs, because they're grouped owned. If we're talking about a sole owner, we actually have the richest owners. But in only recently have our owners been saying, here's money to spend. We've spent like about 10 years of Arsene Wenger of saying we have no money. It's academy products and cheeky 5 mil to Chelsea. That's what it's been. So yeah, I'm not really getting it. Like, I don't really care about the whole. It's not romantic. Like, the fans are happy. Who really cares?
Yeah. As I said, like, I don't necessarily see it as romantic, but I see it as entertaining because that's what it is.
Yeah, so it's entertainment. It's good for the league. It's good for the league, and I think that's why the Premier League is so attractive, because you have all these different types of stories. You look at maybe like La Liga, where you kind of have two giant clubs, Atletico, which is a fantastic club, and then you have all these other clubs that are just nowhere near. Like, you actually need your league to have all these really big stories and all these good clubs, basically. So
it's just how the world works. I want to touch finally just our last topic. We referenced this earlier, but it's James Trafford's move to Man City. So a few days ago on this show, we covered that Edison had reportedly accepted some sort of agreement with Fenerbahce, I believe. Fenerbahce, there's like personal terms are agreed, and there's like a €3 million fee or something along those lines. And if that is going through, Trafford comes in as his new number one. Is like he will probably, or at least he'll fight his way and he'll become the number one. So is that maybe a bit of a risk from Pep Guardiola? Because obviously goalkeeper is so key and has been so key to Pep at Man City, and it's been ever since it was Claudio Bravo went, it was Edison, and it's been Edison ever since. Pep doesn't seem to be one that takes a lot of risks with his transfers. No. There aren't loads of risks. This is potentially the riskiest of them all, because it's not even like they're buying a Premier League one. Obviously, Trafford was at City, so they'll be so well informed on him. But ultimately, he made his name at Burnley in the Championship, and now he's going from Burnley to a team that will want to want to win back their Premier League trophy.
Yeah, to be honest, the amount of risk Pepper's taken and it's worked probably outweighs the ones that he's taken and the risk that he's taken that it hasn't worked. So you have to trust Pep. Obviously, Trafford has been at City before, so he understands the systems of play. I'm pretty sure they would have looked at him thoroughly. Yeah, he done very well for Burnley. I think it was like 28 or 29 clean sheets, 45 appearances.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, exactly. Outrageous. I mentioned earlier in the week, and I said that I was listening to a few of the ex-pros and that were at the England setup, and they said that Trafford was hands down the best. And that wasn't just with his hands, it was with his feet. And that's a key part to how Pep plays. And that's why Edison, he dominated in terms of being one of the best goalkeepers that we've seen in the Premier League over the last year. So if anything, it's a small price to pay. Plus he's an English talent as well. We know Pep likes to revive an English player. So for me, I think it's not really a high risk. Yes, the pressure will be there, but I feel like Trafford, he's capable of doing it. It's a great test. I think it's good. I would rather see an English keeper be given a chance than maybe a foreign keeper come in and maybe take that place. So yeah, for me, it's good overall.
It's very, very good for England because I think Trafford is going to be England's number one goalkeeper.
Go on, Kenya.
Not right now, but I think in the future.
You guys aren't going to like
Pickford's kind of over.
What are you going to say?
Tell us.
I like James Trafford. I think James Trafford is so good, right?
Yeah,
I just think Man City's defense right now is awful. It's crap. We've got Mateus Nunes at right back. Like, are we being serious? This is a box-to-box midfielder that Pep's put a right back, and it doesn't work. And he's like persistent with it. I think as well, John Stones is never fit. Ruben Diaz has like fallen off a cliff. Like a season ago and 2 seasons ago, we were saying this is one of the best centre backs in the league. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Ake and Akanji have had their injury issues, and as well, like they're kind of playing like this very expansive high line. It's quite a risk to bring in this young goalkeeper who's never dealt with the pressure of being in a champion winning team. This is a team that we already know Pep. He's not here for top 4. He's here to win the league. He's here to win the Champions League and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And I just think, I'm not saying that they shouldn't bring him back, but is bringing him back
for an experience
at the expense of losing Edison, is that at the moment worth it when that defense needs sorting badly?
I don't think it needs sorting. I just think they just needed time. Needed time.
The one centre back the one defender they've signed is Ait Nouri, who's been amazing, not for defending, for being a very attacking player.
Exactly. But that's the way that Pep is going, though. Can't you see? He's the one that always sets the trend, and then everyone follows. You know, from your inverted left backs at playing midfield and everything like that to having your number 9, obviously scoring many goals. He's now changing it up, and he's like, right, I need to redesign this team. I need to also prove people wrong, because people think that I just buy the best players at the top of their heights, and I can't actually build up a player from the depth. So for me, it's going to be quite interesting, because when you look at some of the players like Oscar Bob, McAtee, Kuzanov, Guardiola, yes, they haven't got that experience. Yes, they might make a few mistakes, but if he gets them all on the right plane or on the right song sheet, and it's such a young team, that team could go on to dominate. And then he adds that experience. But I understand where Kenya's going, where it's like, it is a big risk, because they've obviously conceded the Premier League to Liverpool. They have to kind of hit back. And it's like, if it doesn't work out, again, questions will be asked this next season. But I'm pretty sure Pep has thought about it time and time again. And he'll have them ready. He'll have these lot ready, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree to an extent, but I just personally feel like that when you're a goalkeeper, it's just you and that goal, It's not the midfielders and the defenders. You're the last line of defense.
Last line. True.
I just think that is such a... I'm not saying that they shouldn't sign him. I think he's fantastic, but I do think there maybe needs to be acclimatization. Like maybe he needs to be second choice goalkeeper, or maybe he just plays a cup games and you ease him in. Well, because don't get me wrong, Edison has bozo moments, but he knows what it means to win.
Well,
Do you
say
know what
if
I
they were
mean?
to keep Ortega, however you say his name.
Ortega.
Let's say he stays, and then it's Ortega and Trafford. Then you kind of get that in the way like you guys first semi at least had with Raya and Ramsdale. It was like Ramsdale did start the season as the supposed number one, then Raya go cup games. Or let's say Ortega was to go and Edison does stay, then it's the same situation. But either way, has two keepers slugging it out for the position, which will only benefit the team long term.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, either way, he is definitely one for the future.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, he's
and
one
I'm
for the
sure
future.
Tommy Tooch is going to be. Tommy Tooch
Yeah,
is going to be
that's why
keeping
he's
a very, very close eye on that.
Yeah,
100%.
that's why
100%.
he's getting called up, bro. Over Ramsdale and stuff like that, which I think is deserved.
Well, he's the future for England's goalkeeper position. He is.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see, obviously, England's goalkeeper. Let's say he's England's goalkeeper and he's Man City's number one goalkeeper as well. Interesting to see England goalkeeper who's a top six club, because for so long it's been Pickford who's been at Everton.
Yeah.
And Pickford's obviously used to like being a more backs to the wall goalkeeper. It will be interesting to see a goalkeeper who develops as a league winning goalkeeper used to possession rather than a goalkeeper who's used to back to the wall stuff, which is what knockout football is like.
Yeah.
But it's football. We'll see. That's how it is. At the end of the day, we can only say we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, did you hear just quickly as well? Sorry, Dylan. I know. I just saw. Was it Evan Ferguson? He scored a hat trick, a first half hat trick for AC Milan, for AS Roma. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Really? Wait, do you know who they're playing against?
Let's see. I mean, he's only scored a perfect start within 24 minutes. Wow. They scored 4 goals. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Were they playing some reserve side?
I don't know, demoted D side, but still, it's still.
I mean,
I was happy. I'm happy.
He was so highly rated, man. We saying that United were considering £100 million bid.
Yeah,
and then now he's got like a 35 million option to buy at Roma. I hope he does well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as well. He's a young talent, and again, Evan Ferguson's Irish, isn't he? But you want to see Premier League talents do well. It's good for our
He's
league.
Another striker that Newcastle should have gone for.
I mean,
but he didn't do well at he didn't do well at West Ham. And Antonio wasn't even playing.
Yeah,
Antonio was in hospital and Trafford still couldn't start.
Exactly.
Sorry, not Trafford.
Ferguson.
Yeah. I'm getting my words mixed. It's 6 p.m. on Friday, man. My brain's gone.
I kind of see why Newcastle would, and then as well, he's another person with injury issues. And he's so young as well. He's another person that has injury issues.
So maybe a slower league is
I
good for him.
understand. Yeah, maybe just go over to Italy, go and revive your career, get a bit more respect on your name, do what Scott McTominay did. He went and won the league. He's gone and got his respect back. Yeah,
McTominay's a little bit of a unique case. I think that was. What
do you mean a unique case?
No. Okay, because you can go and
he's hurt because he's ex-Man United.
No. I'm happy for it. I mean, more in the way of like.
Oh, okay.
Did anyone even put a bet on that? No one in the world has put a bet on.
I don't think no one thought he would do, even though
no one thought he'd win the league.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like you can I feel what Scott McTominay did is very unique to him, which I think.
But then I do think that's actually, I feel like, because I actually watch a lot of Serie A, so I watched a lot of games. And I was like, this Scott McTominay, we see it for Scotland all the time. Like, this is actually, I feel like he reminds me so much of Granit Xhaka. When he was at United, he was completely misprofiled, trying to put in as a DM. He's not a DM. That's why he was getting all these silly red cards and losing his head, because that's not what he is. He's a box to box. He wants to crash into the box and score. He's a very forward-thinking attacker. And I don't know, it was just nice to see him like actually kick on, score cheeky goals, win the league. I was there, they call him McFratham. Have you heard that? That's what
they build murals of him.
Yeah, murals.
He is immortalized in Naples. He is. He's a legend.
They're talking about we love
Napoli legend, but like he is a bloke, he's such a legend.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy for him. Like I really am.
Yeah,
most United players, if they go away and do well, for the most part, I'm still really happy for them.
Yeah.
Like so just true. Well done. But I think that about wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for joining me, Kenya and Qualms. It's been a pleasure, and it's also been a pleasure being on DR this week. I've
Yeah,
had an
it's
absolute great time. My
you enjoy
1
it?
week loan move. I've loved it, mate. It's been fantastic.
We want you back,
5
mate.
days,
Come back,
6
come
shows.
back.
I'm sure they're sick of me by the moment. But no, it has been very good. I hope all you guys watching have enjoyed our very professional breakdown of the news as we've done every day. Remember, DR Sports every day, live at 5 every weekday, Monday to Friday. We'll be here to break down all the latest transfer news. Also, remember, there's going to be the stream on Sunday for the final.
England final, yeah.
If you want to plug that, Kenya.
Yeah, DR Sports, I think 4:30, we're going to be going live for England versus Spain in the Euros final. Hopefully, England
on,
can
ladies.
retain the Euros. We've
Come on,
got
Lionesses. I'd be down
Arsenal
for
women's
Lionesses.
Ballon d'Or charges to run. Do you know what I mean? We need to win that.
I want to see that Ella Toon winner
Yeah,
again.
I
Another
need
year,
to-
another Ella
I need to see
Toon
that Chloe Kelly
smashing out of the
last-minute
park.
dagger. Yeah, and we need to get revenge, man. We lost to them in the World Cup final, and it's 2 very evenly matched teams. So yeah, we're going to be live on DR on Sunday.
Yeah, so make sure to catch that. Apart from that, it has been fantastic, and we as DR Sports will see you soon.